Hey guys, how are you feeling? This is Mr. Legendary Vendetta, and we're going to be watching some 2v2 action gameplay from me and Mr. Oh goodness, I keep on forgetting how to pronounce his name, but here we go. It should be PaarseBanann, me and PaarseBanann against YourLord and SugarRay. Now I cannot remember where I actually met PaarseBanann from, but yesterday he said to me, Vendetta. I want some settings on Empire, Total War. What settings have you got? Something's wrong with blah 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 blah. And he went on to Shogun 2 afterwards, and I was like, broski, do you fancy a game of Shogun? He's like, yeah, why not? Let's go for it. So we started playing, and then SugarRay asked, do you want to play some Shogun? I was like, hell, let's make it a 2v2, guys. So this is it. But we tried to get people to actually join our matches. And people would look at my rank and they'd be like, oh shit, guys, he's a silver. No, quit. And they would just quit because they didn't want to play against a silver star. So I did change to Legendary Tactica. So there he is. And this is why my colour scheme is different from the usual burgundy and white. White cake! And instead I've got the black and purple with a little bit of white mixed in. So that's why I'm fielding a different army, and that is also why my general is only 2 chevron. It says 1, but I don't know, Shogun's a bit fucked up, but I like that. And PaarseBanann, he is, I'd like to say he's not new to Shogun, but I don't think he's played so much online, so he is a 3-star in this. I think I am a 2-star. SugarRay, I think, is over here. He's only had this game for about a month, so already I think this is his 3rd featured video on the channel, so good game to him. He's done pretty well so far, and he is about a 6 bronze, I think. And YourLord over here, I think he's about 6 or 7 bronze as well. So the odds are kind of stacked in our, well, against us, should I say. They're kind of stacked against us, but hey, we'll see what we can do. This was a cool 2v2 though, I just want to point that out. Now, what has Vendetta brung for us? He's got some Portuguese Turcos, because you have to remember that these are DLC units, so I do get them free. You don't have to unlock them or anything. I then got some Yari Gashigaru up front, along with some Benkai's Blades, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. I got 3 Yari Ashigaru. No! Lone Sword Ashigaru, so 3 Sword Ashigaru. I then got 2 Katana Samurai on either flank with some good attack. Well, that one has anyway. And then we've got another Naginata Samurai at the back here with some upgraded melee defense. We've got Legendary Tactica over here, not Captain Cabinet, and he has got 5 morale, no sorry, 20 morale because I did give him a plus 5 morale because of the retainer. Now I've also got 2 Naginata Warrior Monk Cav and a Fire Cav because that's all DLC units. Now PaarseBanann, of course, because we're such a low rank, we bought some pretty colossal armies. He also has got some Portuguese Turcos, Baashigaru, Lone Sword, Lone Sword, Lone Sword. So he's got 3 of those guys. I think he has a Nodachi. Yes, he does. He's then got some Yari Ashigaru, Yari Ash, and Yari Ash. I think he's got 4 of those guys. Some Warrior Nuns, along with some Mounted Guard, which is going to be his Yari Cav. Some Mounted Naginata, and I think some Naginata Warrior Monk Cav. So it's pretty hefty armies. So there's a lot of Ashigaru, a lot of swords, which is good. Because when you first start out in Shogun, that's really what you want. You want a lot of swords, some good Cav, mixed in with a little bit of succulent Yari, just to kind of protect, the creamy soft centre of that sword infantry. Now let's go look at our opponents. So we'll put it into play for a little bit. So what was YourLord? What has he rung? Now YourLord, he was more of a random player, but I'm definitely gonna send this over his way so we can just watch it. And he's got some Yari Samurai up front, followed by some Katana Samurai. I think 3 of those guys, 4 of those guys, and then he's got some Matchlock Ashigaru at the back, along with his general, who is it looks like a bow general with a bit of melee. No, sorry, a bit of range. And he's got some Yari Cav, and Yari Cav. So we've got 3 of those guys. SugarRay is fielding, I think, 2 bow Cav, but he has also got some Cav, I think. And he has got a melee / kind of leadership general, along with Bulletproof Sam, Yari Ashigaru, some long Yari Ashigaru. So it's a nice good mix there at the front, along with some Ultramarines, which are going to be his Katana Samurai, 2nd Ultramarines Katana Samurai, and some more Katana Samurai. Ultramarines, that is screaming Warhammer at me. I know, I'm so nerdy, but I don't care. I did actually used to collect Warhammer when I was a lot younger. It was the shit. When you're 12, 13, it is the absolute shit. But anyway, As prophesized, he has got some fire cav and some great guard. Oh no! Now I know why I did so badly later on. Anyway, I'm foreshadowing for you there. It's a bit unfair. But what we're going to do is that we've disabled key buildings because I want it to be a little bit more balanced. See, I do like key buildings being on here, but I think I explained in the last video. Sometimes the positioning can be screwed, so I know they get the morale shine, we get the archery dojo. You know, it can be a bit random, a bit unfair. Whereas if you've got key building switched off, it's all nice, it's all good, and it's more based down to individual skill rather than just rushing. Although the good thing about key buildings is that if you're hopelessly a lower rank, then you can kind of get higher stats in order to compete against a higher rank player. So that is a nice thing, but it also negates camping. Because camping in Shogun 2 is one of the worst things ever. That's why I never really play Fall of the Samurai anymore. Just because people camp. People camp like little bitches. Anyway, we're going to continue here with the cav. It's going to be big cav battle sooner or later. Now, I've decided to chase his great guard in my fire cav, because I know that as soon as I hit him, or as soon as he turns around, I will absolutely clobber him. But unfortunately, the reverse happens. He did a very nice split. And he absolutely wiped out my fire cav. You know, YourLord has then got healed with his cav screaming down the little slope there, and I'm just going to get cleaned out. My fire cav was possibly my best unit, but either way, what we're going to do is that me and PaarseBanann are just going to be hooking in round. We're going to be encircling them and making sure that we at least get a Yari cav back for our troubles, and also dealing a bit of damage to them as well, which is always nice. And PaarseBanann is then going to be charging across his mounted warrior, Naginata warrior monk. I told him, you just want to focus down the bow cav, because if it gets to that stage later on in the game where they've still got their bow cav and we've got very few units left, they've pretty much won the game. You should always aim for ranged cavalry, because ranged cavalry is the pinnacle, the center of douchebaggery. I'm not saying that in a light sense. I'm saying that they are an incredibly annoying unit to go against, and I mean, even I feel really dirty bringing something like a Donderdix. Actually, no, I don't bring Donderdix because I'm not that much of a douchebag. But mounted gunners, I sometimes bring them, and I feel so horrible bringing them because they're just not a very skillful unit to bring. I mean, Bocav, I think Bocav is okay because it does take some skill with kiting and whatnot, because it's not ludicrously overpowered. But, it can still annoy you and it can still win you games. I mean, there was that match ages ago where I did play, and the guy just swept through, cleaned out my army completely, had most of his units left. I had 2 Bocav at the end of it, and I won the match, just from kiting him all day long. Now, that is the precise reason that I always prioritise any ranged cavalry, because I actually showed to myself that ranged cavalry it's a godsend, basically. If you lose a battle, if you lose the melee engagement, and the enemy has got no cavalry, you're going to destroy them because they can't chase you down. All you have to do is keep picking away from them from a distance, and you've pretty much won. So that's why I told, PaarseBanann that these Bocav are a priority. It doesn't really matter if they've still got their kind of melee cav left, because we have easily got enough spears to defend against any of those charges and any of those cav, as long as we position them correctly. So really, we just want to kind of go away from what we can't counter. So we can't counter the Bocav, so really want to prioritise on them. Now what I'm going to be doing here is that I'm going to be doing a little bit of a smart move. So I've got my Naginata warrior monks here in a nice straight line. I'm charging towards his Bocav, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to suck all of his guys into this monk cav over here. I'm going to try and draw these guys around the flank. Unfortunately, these guys are a little bit tired, and they're just going to get caught there by SugarRay's fire cav, but then his fire cav are going to be charging off over here for some reason, and then swooping on back before I just barely managed to go in and annihilate all of his Bocav, because that Bocav is very, very annoying. Now, what has actually been happening since we've been doing all of this? Well, I'm quite surprised I managed to get this far. I actually managed to creep slightly over the river. I think I started over here, charged forward, creep, 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 and I'm slowly making my way onto their flank. Now this is good because what it's going to do is it's going to split their direction, but alternatively, it will split our direction as well, as PaarseBanann is going to be moving there through the forest, down into, this bit here. I've actually got a screenshot of this, and it's part of my wallpaper, because I've got lots of different wallpapers for my desktop, and that's actually one of them, believe it or not. But anyway, off my desktop and my personalization of a computer, Lord now realizes, holy shit, Legendary Vendetta is forming up on my flank. He's got some incredibly overpowered, you know, kind of musket units over here, some matchlocks, and he will be ripping into me, which he's right, because Turkos are just an insane unit to bring. As I've said before, they're pretty much Katana Samurai with guns. If you take their stats into account, 10 morale, 12 attack, you know, and then they have got guns, and they're very good at it as well. Like, I got 62 kills there in that first volley, only sustaining 24 losses in return. I'm going to pull them back to the safety of my Yari Gashigaru, because I just don't want him to outright charge me and I lose this matchlock unit. I want these guys to rain pain down on the enemy, and just pulling them back, make sure they're a little bit more protected. Now these guys, I'm going to be prioritising. So I'm going to be taking out his melee force. His melee force is the bit that scares me the most, because, I mean, you know, you can charge over, you can pretty much stomp out Yari Ashigaru, because they're not that powerful. The stats are pretty darn shocking, but, you know, Yari Samurai, they're not going to be difficult for any of my sword units to chop down, but the main issue I have with them is the fact that they're just so numerous. They're going to tire my guys out. They will sustain a few casualties against my lot, and that just kind of loosens me up a little bit for all of his Katana Samurai, which have actually got some decent stats. This one here has got 16 melee attack and will be a key player in the coming battle. But I'm just going to be picking away at this Yari Sam, then I'll pick at this one, and then I'll probably go for this Katana Samurai over here. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battle, SugarRay I think decides it's kind of time, and he will be charging in momentarily. Now, PaarseBanann has actually done a very good job, because all of his units are completely fresh. They're not tired. You would have thought if they did run that, they would have been very tired. But he's just forming up. I would say to him that he's probably got to run this out a little bit. But he's done well, because what he's done is he kept all of his army together. He's charging off this Nodachi, which I would not advise at all. The long Yari Ashigaru are a complete counter to any sort of Nodachi charge. And he delivers. PaarseBanann is not going to be phased by this, and he's going to be running on back, which is a very, very good move. In fact, the formations of both of these players are actually incredibly good. We've got our skirmish troops up front, who should be tearing into the enemy troops. Really, PaarseBanann has got to be focusing on these Katana Samurai, because these guys, 19 melee attack, 16, they're going to be stomping out PaarseBanann's troops. You know, as these guys, I think, are going to get charged. He really needs to be charging these guys in. Let's go look at my side of the battle. Things have still not developed too much, although I have racked up 300 kills here, so this is really going to be beneficial within the coming battle. I'm just going to reposition to get some nice easy shots in these Katana Samurai, because again, I need to chop down his melee force as quickly as I can. Now what's happened over here on this side is that PaarseBanann is getting butchered by SugarRay's mainly Katana units. These guys are really making a good push here on the flank, and it looks a little bit like PaarseBanann is in a bit of disarray. His general needs to pop off a rally or something. I'm not sure if he's already done that. But these Burshigo probably a good target to start focusing down the general. That's always something you want to do. If you're ever in a sort of, you know, grind out match into locked melee, you always want your skirmish troops behind the line shooting at the enemy general, who will be in stand and fight. So textbook play there by SugarRay. Very, very well done. Charging the enemy outright with your katanas. Make sure you get a few kills with the ranged, popping down the rally, and then putting yourself down in the stand and fight. Very, very well played. Now, on my side of the battle, things are beginning to actually kick off. So, the final score on the Portuguese Turkos is about a good 320 kills, so that is insanely good, given this is a 120 unit sort of, well, unit. And they're just going to be broken, but still, guys, you have done very well. 330 kills there, and I'm going to be engaging here. I'm going to be telling my Yari Gashigaru to go into their spear wall and start to engage the dumbasses of Lord's Katana Samurai. These guys have got 16 melee attack, and their kills are raging up quite a lot. Now, this is something you never want to do. You never want to be bunching up your troops. You always want to spread them out, and you can see me doing this quite clearly. This is what I'm talking about. You don't really want to be doing this, but I just absolutely wiped out that Katana unit, and now he's going to be charging in his matchlock Ashigaru to me. But as you can see here, I take my sword infantry round the back, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to flank him. And what I do though, however, I do reinforce this failing Yari Ashigari with some Naginata Samurai, just to hold Lord's katanas in place for a little bit longer for my flanking forces to very literally flank. Now this was actually a very bad flanking maneuver by me. I really should have stretched these guys out, came right round the rear, and instead I actually kind of very literally glued myself into a sort of big bunch, a big blob, so there's not a lot of surface area. You always want a lot of surface area. However, we did manage to win the fight against Lord. I'm not really sure what went wrong for him. I think definitely waiting around for a while. Yeah, because that kind of got rid of 2 Yari Sam for him and also kind of wiped out his katanas. But besides that, SugarRay is still feeling pretty confident. Me and him are the victors on both our side. However, what he did fail to do is charge down all of PaarseBanann's troops, and PaarseBanann is actually fielding a pretty strong army. Most of his army has returned to the fight, and now SugarRay is pretty much on the defensive. I mean, he's actually getting kind of flanked by both. He's getting sandwiched. And note what I did here as well. I just want to point this out a little bit. So I actually know we could play it in full. So I charged the main of my army into his very good units, like 16, 16. But over here, his... Oh no, he had a 16 melee samurai unit. Anyway, I saw these guys charging in, and that would just put even more pressure on my troops, giving them even more high quality katanas to fight. So what I did is I charged in my Benkai's blades, took out this katana samurai to make sure that this katana samurai was not going to be doing any more damage than it already has done. You have to remember this guy's got 200 kills, and the Benkai's blades are going to be putting those bitches and those hoes back in the kitchen, making some sandwiches. And although SugarRay is actually making some very, very good attempts to try and hit at my general, but my general is going to be protected over here because all of my spears are at the back. As I said previously, if you've got some good positioning on those spear units, melee cav is really, really not going to be a problem for you. Although I am a little bit stretched thin in terms of spears, we still managed to pull through, and I think we both still had a lot of men left. So I think that's kind of a good lesson for SugarRay as well, is the fact that you should kind of charge down your opponents if they're kind of broken to make them absolutely shattered, because that way they're not going to return like this. And if you look at it, PaarseBanann has actually got a lot of men left, even though he did kind of get absolutely slaughtered on his side of the battlefield. But yeah, that's kind of the battle, so I hope you did enjoy it. I think Lord's general should be retreating anytime soon. There he is now broken. And yeah, I thought it was a good 2v2 to play, so even though we were a lower rank, we still managed to pull it off. So any of you guys who are just starting out in Shogun 2, this will hopefully pull your dreams up a little bit. And it's not impossible to beat someone who has a higher rank than you. So we'll go off to the result screen. And here we are. So the result screen, as you can see, it was a very big battle. We did bring some more men than SugarRay and YourLord, but I think it was mainly down because we were a lower rank and we had more cash to splash because we didn't have as many veterans. However, I did pull out with the most kills, second to SugarRay, but not too far off, only about a good, what, is that 60 kills there? Yeah, about 61 kills. So that's a good match, we had some good times. Now, the Portuguese Turcos, of course, raking in 330 kills, definitely a worthwhile unit to bring. Again, if you're just starting out, you got the DLC, bring Turcos as a good ranged unit. Yeah, they won't be able to outrange stuff like bow units, but they pack a hell of a punch, and they have got some good morale and solid attack. And, they can take on a lot of different types of melee troops, provided they're not quite vetted up. But again, if you're a low rank, lots of sword, and a few spear units. As you can see, you did see me bring that. Got some Yari Ash, got 2 of those guys, along with Naginata Samurai, which I'm not too sure where it is. There it is. There he is. So yeah, as you can see, that was good because I had loads of swords, so that meant I can chop up all the infantry, even though they weren't actually the best sword units I could bring. And then I still had some spears there to clean up any leftovers of the melee cav. But also I bring Benkai's blades because it's always nice if you're a very low rank. Your general is generally quite bad. Your troops are very, very poor in terms of their morale. So it is nice to have kind of secondary hero there because they do inspire units nearby. So it's always nice to kind of separate your army up in terms of what your general's got and what your hero's got. So kind of operate your general and your hero on 2 two separate parts of the battle, because that way you get the most area effect and the most inspiration for your troops, and they will be less likely to flee. So it's common sense, but some people just still don't do it. Dumbasses, of course, raking in their 164 kills. They absolutely mopped up my Yari Ashigaru. And the Matchlocks there getting 75 kills, 69. I think that's mainly from the Portuguese Turcos. But yeah, it was... They did some good things. Now, I wouldn't say Yari Samurai, they were the best unit to bring. I mean, I rarely bring Yari Samurai. Absolutely excellent against, you know, let's say Cav. But the only issue with them is the fact that you could buy 400, well in this instance it was an ultra size, but you could buy 400 Yari Ashigaru. It's 2 units for pretty much the same price. So that's why I generally go for Yari Ashigaru rather than Yari Sam. Because mainly I use Yari units for just mainly against cavalry. So PaarseBanann, oh my goodness, the lone swords there getting some good kills. The mounted, the 4th mounted guard, the Yari Cav, they did pretty decent. The warrior nuns, of course, did very nicely. They're a very good unit again to bring. If you think your opponent's going to be bringing monks, always bring warrior nuns, because they are a very, very good counter to any warrior monks. And let's go over to SugarRay. So SugarRay got a lot of kills there. The Ultramarines raking in the kills there. 200 kills apiece and 300 there at the top. The Bocav did exceptionally well. Now, I did play against SugarRay with 1v1, and he actually did very well with this, because I used Bocav against him in that 1v1, and it looks like he's learnt some good lessons. Kiting, making sure that you can't get trapped by the enemy. Very, very well played there. 180, 190 kills. It's not bad going if you're not too great at the best micro. Not too great at the best micro? You're not the best micro in the world. And the Great Guard, of course, getting 110 kills. We kind of expect that from them because they are a very, very deadly unit. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I do have another 2v2 with me and PaarseBanann with 2 different opponents who, again, are about the same ranks, about 6, 7. But I will be casting that one. And I do also need to cast me and SugarRay. We did a 2v2 against some random players online. And I think they were... a 3 silver and a 10 gold, so you're going to have to look out for that, because again, I was silver 8 in that battle and he was, I think, 5 or 6 bronze. So there's some good battles to look out for, some good 2v2s. And also, guys, get online, get some Shogun going. I'll be on Shogun quite a lot, you know, over the next several weeks. So if I'm on Shogun, you see me on Shogun, by all means, send me a message, you know, Vendetta, do you want to play? And I'll play with you, no problem. So, I hope you enjoyed, guys, but bye for now.